Hi, Stacy.
Hello.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. It's chilly and windy here this morning. Have you got me on video? Can you see me or not?
I cannot see you.
All right, hang on. I'm on my phone, so I'm just trying to work out where I got to go.
Okay.
Over a minute, I'll get it sorted.
Okay.
No, that's not right. Might be this one. No. How's the weather over there?
In Michigan, it's overcast. In probably mid 70s. It's beautiful.
Oh, very nice. Well, I've got 12 degrees here at the moment, which is 53 over there.
Okay.
So that's chilly.
Yeah. Are you going to get rain over there or what?
No, it's very, very windy here, so I don't think it'll rain. It's 50-kilometer winds at the moment, supposedly, so I don't know.
That's pretty windy.
It's very windy. Any tips on where I find how to
Yep.
get my picture in?
What are you on? Are you on a laptop?
No, I didn't bring the laptop. I'm babysitting the grandies, so I'm on my phone.
What kind of a phone? An iPhone or Android?
Samsung phone.
Samsung phone. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's in the upper right-hand corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It'll say video.
Okay, hang on. Microphone's unmuted.
It should be right next to where your microphone is.
That off. No Zoom. No. I'll get there.
Okay.
Who else is in today so far?
We have a total of 9 of us so far.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Last month, I think we had 16.
Wow, that's fabulous.
Yeah. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, Linda. If you'll tell her that up in the top right-hand corner of her little screen, right up here, there's 3 little dots, and she can push it and then try and start video, and she can be on there.
3 little dots, chat.
No, it's 3 little dots in the corner of your own screen, not the big screen.
Oh, okay. I'm only on my phone. It wouldn't work on my iPad. I don't know why. Don't know. But I'm here anyway.
all the way from Australia, ladies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Catherine joins us from Australia.
I do.
That's one of the reasons that we have it at the time we have it, so that she can join us.
Good.
I appreciate it.
Not a problem. You have a lot to share with us. Oh, not too many on tonight. We got 9 total, including, I don't know if that's me. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 and 9. I make 9, so 8 people. and this is being recorded. I bought new software, and I've been
Very good.
testing it for 2 weeks now, so it seems to work. I seem to do okay testing it, so let's hope tonight, cross our fingers, it'll hold on for us. And then it'll upload to my YouTube channel, and then I will
Good.
post the link to it in the Facebook group.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. So last month you weren't with us, right, Catherine?
No, I missed last month, and it was one I would have really loved to have watched because you had a demo being done.
We did have a demo. Unfortunately, the recording didn't work, but she did a PowerPoint presentation and had a narrative of what she
Yep.
said. So I posted
Yep.
that instead on in the Facebook group.
Yes. Yes, that reminded me to look at it. So that was really good.
Yep, she did a really good job.
Yay, I'm in.
There you are.
Can you see me now? Here I am. See, I've got my little neck knob warmer on and my it's so bloody cold.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it was wintertime over there, Catherine.
You would think so, wouldn't you? Yes. Oh, dear. My grandies are here on their devices. So hang on, I'll show you. Say good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Sunday morning to you. How fun.
We've got Mummy's out the back doing some work with Grandpa and one of my cousins, and Dad's gone camping. So I said, I'll entertain the children. So we're all on devices.
Good way that's always a good way to entertain them.
It is. It's a great entertaining babysitting thing.
Yeah. I love babysitting mine too. Now my boys are out of school for the summer, so we get them every day, Monday through Friday.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do they sleep over each week or just each day?
No, that depends on what they feel like. We're up, usually we drive down to their house. They live on a lake, and they both like to be in the water and to fish. And so we go down there, and if they get bored, then sometimes we come up here, and sometimes, because I'm about 45-minute drive from their house.
Okay.
And then sometimes they spend the night because they like to sleep at Nana's. They can stay up as late as they want. And so we watch.
What happens at Nana's? Whatever happens at Nana's stays at Nana's.
Yep. Nana pops some popcorn and we watch movies, and we have a good time.
Sounds like us.
And play video games too. So
Very good.
Life is short. I can't. And now that I'm retired, there's no excuse why we couldn't spend more time with them. So, and we want to. So that's a good thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So how's everyone finding their QBots?
I don't have one yet. I'm a wannabe. I'm a wannabe. Yeah.
Well, look at her.
Mine just came.
Is in the box.
It just came this last week, so I haven't figured out how to install it yet. So I got to finish the quilt that's on the frame right now, and then I will be tackling that.
What kind of a machine do you have, Stacy?
I have a Handy Quilter Avante.
Okay, that's cool. So I have a King Quilter 2, which is made by Handy Quilter, and it's an 18-inch throat, so it's like the Amara, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's the new one. So the Avante is 18-inch as well.
So mine is like that, except it's a King Quilter.
Okay.
That they're made by Handy Quilter, so it's a lot of fun. Oh my gosh! So we're gonna all convince Jody now that this is what she needs, and that Stacy made the right decision.
Oh, I've got to get my machine paid off first before I take on anything else.
I understand completely. What kind of a machine do you have, Jody?
I have a 12-foot table A1 that is a 2007 model, but it's all been upgraded to the latest. It's the equivalent of an Elite Platinum A1. So I love it. I mean, I love the machine. I love what I've been able to do on it so far, but having it computerized would be just a little bit better. And I've been kind of going back and forth between QBot and Butler because I know everybody says that for A1s, it should be the Butler, but I am not convinced about that company. I've just heard too many bad things about that particular company and the lack of support. And so, yeah, I don't think.
Have you been on YouTube watching the QBotV3 videos?
Yes, and I have been saving them also. So I've got them in a little tidy little file, and yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you, that's what convinced me to get mine 2 years ago, as I had another system that called MQR, and it wasn't being supported anymore, and it was a huge learning curve. So I didn't want to continue to grow in that software if there wasn't going to be any support if there was a problem. So I got rid of that, and I actually got rid of my long arm at the time. It was old, and in order to use robotics, you had to have a stitch regulator. So I bought one for that old long arm and tried to get it to work, and it just wouldn't work. I had the service rep down here, and he spent hours and hours in my sewing room trying to get it to work. And his final conclusion is they don't play nice together. So I sent it back. Thankfully, they allowed me to send it back. And told my husband, time for a new machine. So I ended up with the King Quilter 2 Elite and QBot. Now, I wouldn't have given QBot a second look, because back in the day when I had the MQR, I looked at QBot. And back then, they didn't have the tablet that you could operate it on. You had to do it on all these little buttons on the little bitty screen. And I thought, there is no way that I'm going to be able to do that. Well, I decided I would take a look at it, because it had been years since I had looked at it last. And when I started watching those videos, they just spoke to me. Like, oh my gosh, this sounds like a really short learning curve. I love technology, and it just all made sense to me. So I ended up buying it.
Now, do any of you use the QBot? Are you quilting for other people, or are you just using it because you just wanted the technology and all the things that it could offer?
I see your hand up, Rose. What are you quilting? Are you quilting for others?
I'm quilting for others and myself, but right now more for others, because I'm a substitute teacher. So most of the quilting I'm doing is ones that people ask me to get done. But I have a Nolting 24-inch, the commercial 24-inch one with a 12-foot frame, and I've got the QBot V3 Pro. So I really like it. It's nice.
You got a good setup too.
Yeah.
Do you do mostly just edge to edge for them then, and not anything custom?
I do, because I haven't had time to even learn how to do custom, and I don't want to give something to somebody that doesn't look real pretty.
Yeah, I understand.
So not if they spend all that time making a beautiful quilt. I'm not going to put my ugly quilting on it.
I understand completely. I just quilt for myself. Now I have a couple friends like I sew with here in town, and both of them have asked me to quilt one of their quilts for them. I initially said no, I really didn't want to do it. I don't think I'm good enough at it yet. They think I am. From the quilts that I've made for myself and have given away, they like so I did their quilts, and actually one of them is just a wall hanging, and it was a witch on a branch, and they had 3D with her legs were hanging over the branch, and I quilted that one, and she put it in a quilt show.
Great.
Yeah, I did.
Wonderful.
Yeah, didn't think she would, but she did. Anyway, but I don't quilt for other people. Family members, like right now, a month ago, my sister-in-law passed away, and her niece helped her husband take care of her for the last year and a half. And so I got her daughter to give me some of her shirts, and I'm currently making her a memory quilt.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful idea.
Yeah,
lovely.
So that's been an interesting task, because when they asked if for shirts, I said I'd like cotton shirts, like dress shirts, and I got all t-shirt type material. So yeah, so that's been a little trick, trying to applique hearts is what I'm doing. Appliquing hearts on it in the shape of a heart. So the hearts
Wow.
inside are all in different angles. They're different, facing different directions, and they're 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch.
Wow.
Lovely.
And then there'll be a blue 3-inch blue border on it, and then another 6-inch white border. I put it on white, and then bind it up, and the back is going to be cuddle.
Oh,
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll
Would
see.
you like to see a quilt that I did for my grandson?
Well, of course.
Coop, go get your quilt. Your favourite one. He has about 6 on his bed at the moment.
No, how old is he?
He'll be 10 next month.
No, I've got an 8-year-old who his bunk bed is full of blankets and stuffies.
Yep. Cooper's got. Cooper actually helped with this one. He picked the fabric.
Oh.
He helped do all the cutting out.
Nice.
You'll have to hold it up, buddy. And he did help do some of the piecing and the layout. So it's a nice size quilt. You got to turn around, buddy. Hang on, he's getting organised.
Okay.
Oh, he's running away. There we go. Come closer, mate.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
So he
Tell him
picked
he's
it
got to
all.
bring it closer. I want to see the fabric.
Closer, Coop. Bit more, bit more.
Don't
Bit more. It don't fall over your slippers. All right, that's beautiful, isn't it? He's done a
That
great
is
job.
Beautiful. Good job, buddy.
Nice.
Beautiful, nice big one.
Yes, it is.
Good job. And he picked the quilting design. So that's his latest one.
That's
So,
great.
yeah,
Did he enjoy it?
he did. He loved doing it. We did it over holidays and stuff, which was fun. So that was really good. And Chloe's learning to piece at the moment. She's starting to learn to sew. So she'll be 7 in how many days?
In
12 days she'll be 7. So she can do a beautiful straight line when she's sewing, ladies. So she's very, very good. We'll have our next quilter to join us.
Nice. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. My youngest grandson last year wanted to quilt with my long arm, and he was impressed with the robotics, so he picked out motifs. And then
Yes.
we took a square, a 5-inch square, and I put that down on the quilt so he could mark his corners. And then that's where he put the motif. And so he's got all kinds of animals on his. And
oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
He enjoyed it.
That's a great way to do the practicing, isn't it? For, doing custom and placing and everything.
Yes. Well, it was easy for him at, 7 years old. He didn't want to just do free motion. He wanted to use the robotics. And as soon as he hit the button for the robotics to start, he'd go down on the floor and watch it from underneath.
Can't get under my table. It's full of stuff.
Yeah, well, mine is now, but it wasn't back then. I got I'm getting into doing a lot more applique. So every time I have leftovers off my frame, from the backing and stuff, and I cut it up and put it in the buckets underneath my frame, so then I can just pick and choose what I want to use in my applique. I love appliquing.
So you're doing applique on QBot?
No.
Are you actually tacking them down? I want to have a go at that.
No, I'm not.
I've watched David's video and it's amazing.
No, I use my sewing and embroidery machine.
Yeah.
And
that's why I would like to have a go at doing it while it's on the frame. So I might have to have a little piece or something.
my thing I want to learn is how to put the binding on my frame when the quilt's on.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have your channel locks on.
I don't have channel locks.
You know what you can do? I didn't have channel locks on my knolting, and I got, I think it was a handy quilter one. They had like a C shape, and it goes over the wheel. Yeah.
I have seen those, and those are cheap.
They are. Yeah.
But I would like to do something. They say that you could just mark your points across it and sew across, but that seems like a long time to do that. So
yeah.
I'm keeping an eye out. It feels the breeze is picking up. It rains. I may have to get up and quick shut my windows.
Oh.
I'm sitting out in the sunroom.
Ah, very nice. I've got the sun on my legs. So
well, it sounds like you need it.
We need it, yes. I think we haven't got the air on at the moment, but it's quite nice here in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful. So this is, look at Joan's back. Hey, Joan.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, I haven't seen you in a while.
I was out of town the last time you had a meeting.
Oh, okay. Well, it is good to see you. Yeah. So this is being recorded. Like I said at the beginning, I've been playing with the software for a while now and doing a lot of recordings and testings, and it seems to be working. I'll keep my fingers crossed. But that's why when you logged on, I had you with no video because it
Right.
is being recorded. I am going to put it on YouTube, and I am going to share the link back into our We Love QBot Facebook group so that
Oh,
others who
fun.
couldn't be here today could watch it. So I know some
Cool.
people don't want their faces on camera, and I understand that. So that's why you're like that. But if you want to open your video, feel free to do so. That's
Yeah.
just fine. So
Okay.
it's Stacy that just got her QBot.
Yes, I just ordered it and it came last week. So
Okay.
I was traveling for work and this is the first I've been home in my quilting room to even attempt it. So
Oh, good, good. Did you get just the regular app or did you get Pro?
I got the Pro.
Nice. Yep, I'm still saving for that. I almost had it ready to go, and then we ended up having to put a new roof on our house, so that kind of took care of that.
Oh, that'll be the end of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You know, with inflation right now, I kind of went into sticker shock when they told me what it was going to cost to put my roof on.
Yeah, I've been doing this. I've been doing the same thing in my basement, waterproofing the whole basement. It's been tore up since January.
Oh my.
And my long arm right now is buried under stuff. I mean, because that's the only part of the room that is not being touched at this moment. So that's why it's buried. But we're getting ready to put it all back together and then it's going to move out into the big room. So
Nice.
it'll be nice to have it back. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of funny because my regular sewing and embroidery machine needs to go in for its spa day. I bring it in usually every May because then it's on its anniversary and have it serviced. But I didn't bring it in May because I went to a quilting class instead. And then I thought, okay, after class I will. And then my sister-in-law passed away and then I got this quilt to make. And so it's still in my room, but I always have plans. So when that's going to go in, then I have these extra quilt tops on for my long arm, and I can play on my long arm because my other machine is gone. So
Right.
I can still be in my
Good.
sewing room. But
Yeah.
watching our grandsons every day from 6:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night, I don't have a lot of time to play in there unless it's a weekend.
Gee, and all I've got is a 20-hour a week job to do.
Well, I'm retired, but
Yeah, I am too, but still.
yeah, I know. But that's the fun. This is fun. It's not really work. It's just fun time. And, you know, we bought a camper too, so we take them camping with us, and they love to do that.
Well, you're
Lovely.
fortunate. I don't have any. I've got grandkitties. That's all I have.
Oh,
And they don't take much care.
No, they don't. But you can still love them and snuggle with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And even my 12-year-old, I told my husband one of these days he's not going to want to snuggle. But he still
They won't one day, so you grab them all when you can.
Yep, you do.
For sure.
Because it's going to be a day that he's not going to want to do that anymore. No, he doesn't snuggle a lot. He gives me hugs. But the 8-year-old still sits on my lap and snuggles up next to me, so that's good.
That's nice. Well, I'm going to have to excuse myself, ladies,
Okay, Catherine.
and go do grandma duties. And so, it's about to start.
Okay. It was good seeing
Lovely
you.
seeing everybody. Take
Have a
care,
good
and I'll watch the
Bye-bye.
rest of it on the video. Bye.
Okay, Catherine.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that's great. So what kind of projects have we got under the needles, lady? Anybody doing anything right now, quilting?
Yeah, I've always got UFOs. What do you mean? I've got zillions of them. Yeah. So just go in and grab something out of the bag and dig into it again.
Yeah. You have on your domestic machine, do you ever quilt on that while your long arm is being incapacitated?
No, I have, but I don't like it. I'm not coordinated enough to do it on a domestic. I don't have the room to have enough support tables and so forth around me. And besides that, that's why I bought the long arm. I mean, Well, actually, the reason I bought the long arm was my big deal was I was going to start a rental business. That was going to be part of my retirement money. And I was just about ready to get that going. And then COVID came calling. So, needless to say, it never quite took off. And, I don't know, maybe someday I might do it again. But at this point, I don't know. I'm still, I don't know about that. Maybe I will and maybe I won't at this point. But
there's always people I look at in my area. I live in mid-Michigan. There's and the Mitson is here and I live right here. There's always people looking and wanting somebody to quilt for them. And the long armors in the area, they're booked months out.
Well, I don't know. There's I'm in Jackson. So there's at least 3 very good long armors in this area. But the thing that I didn't see was anybody that would rent a machine out. Now you could go over to St. Joe, Michigan, over by the lake, and go to the shop where I bought my machine. They actually rent time on their machines there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know of anybody in this general area that would rent time on the machine. And so I don't know. I thought, well, it could be. And I've talked to several ladies who do it and have been doing it very successfully for many years. And they're all very, they're like, yeah, go for it. Do it. It's great. So although I talked to a lot of people that are on the long arm list I'm on, and they're all like, no, I wouldn't do it. It would, I wouldn't take a chance with my machine, or, I've got enough work to do of my own. I couldn't spare the time off of the machine. Well, that's them, but I don't have those issues. And furthermore, my machine is such a heavy
workhorse
beast. I mean, it's not heavy in when you work it, but I'm just saying that I'm not worried about it being too temperamental.
Right.
I run 18 and 19 needles in it, and it will do an edge to edge pantograph just like a champ. In fact, I even did a king size batik top with batik backing.
Wow.
And part of the backing was pieced also.
Oh.
And it went right through it. I didn't have any problems at all with any tension issues or any problems with, not stitching out properly. And there were a couple issues, but they were operator error. It was my fault, not the machine's fault. So I'm pretty confident about the machine being able to handle somebody doing, and pantographs was pretty much what I would expect people to want to do, because they're intimidated by the size of the machine and not knowing exactly what to do anyway. And most people would probably be comfortable doing just a simple pantograph. Yeah. So, I wouldn't, even if I had QBot on it, that wouldn't be part of the rental thing. I'd have to disengage it to, allow somebody to do that. So I don't know.
Well, you've got the machine, you've got the table, you use it anyway. So
right.
So it's not
absolutely.
Really, it's not like you're running out and buying a machine just for that. So
right.
That's kind of a wash. And, you might find people who would like to have a long arm, or maybe one day had one and had to give it up or sell it, or it broke.
Exactly.
Get another one. They may want to come do that. Many of them will probably be intimidated and not want to do that. But I don't think it's be a bad thing to try.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't have anything to lose. I mean,
right.
The machine is the machine, and it is mine. And
you're going to be there with it
and
anyway,
furthermore, if something did happen, I mean, all I have to do is throw it in my car and go 2.5 hours west and drop it off to. And I've also got a local guy he's up in the Holt area, that also does service on long arms. So I've got people that I could go to if there was an issue. I could it wouldn't be weeks and weeks and weeks where I wouldn't have the machine going,
Yeah, well,
kind
good
of a
for you.
thing.
Good for you.
So
And you're going to be right there with them anyway, unless they're
exactly,
repeat customers and you're comfortable with that they can do it, then you can walk away. But
exactly,
you're going to be right there anyway.
exactly. So yes, yeah,
Good for you.
because I have another domestic machine that I can set up down there right next to where my table is, and can be right there doing something, piecing up my own while they're working on the long arm. So yeah,
Good.
it'd be okay. I definitely think I could handle it.
Well, keep me
So
posted on how well that goes, because there are people. I'm not that far from you.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
good.
probably an hour drive, hour and 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes maybe to get to
Oh,
Jackson.
okay. Yeah, I'm in Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When you first said Jackson, I didn't know where it was, and then you said Holt, and you said a couple others. That's Michigan. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michigander.
Well, I moved up here after I retired to be closer to my daughter. She's in Ann Arbor, and Jackson's as close as I could afford to get to Ann Arbor. So
No kidding. No kidding. I understand.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
born and raised from the west end of the UP.
awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
And I originally, back in the 70s, after I got out of nursing school, I moved to Kalamazoo, and that's where I met my husband. And then we moved back up to the UP to take care of my aging parents and raise our family. And then after that, I switched careers. I was running a home medical equipment company, and then switched from there to be an HR director at a lumber company that had 4 locations, 2 in Michigan, 2 in Wisconsin, and then left there to go get into education. And then I got
Wow.
up there. When they slash the school budget, they get rid of all the electives except for band, choir, and art. So my computer classes all went.
That's such a shame. That is such a shame.
So then I
Yeah.
applied for a job and got a job out of Flint, not in the Flint schools, but a career tech center that's run by the Flint schools at the time. And so I came down. My husband retired early, and then he put the house up for sale in the UP. And I was down here, I think, a year by myself. I'd go home once a month, but a year by myself. And then he retired and moved down here. So I've been
Okay.
here since 2004 now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah. I'd never go back to the UP. Matter of fact, I think since I've been here, I've only been up there 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Not my.
Yeah, this seems a little remote for me. I've been as far as Traverse City, and I know the UP people think that's not even considered
That's
a
not up
northern
north.
part of the state. Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
not
say
up
I'm
north.
from northern Wisconsin,
Oh,
so
you are? Okay. Where at, Stacy? Northern Wisconsin.
I live closer to Green Bay right now, but we have family that is closer to the Marinette Menominee area.
Yep. So I was born and raised in Bessemer, which is the farthest west you can go, Ironwood, Bessemer, before you drop into Hurley, Wisconsin.
Sure.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, when you're talking about the UP, I'm like, oh yeah,
That's hometown, right?
we're not too far from there a lot of times.
You're closer. It's closer for me to go to Green Bay when I lived up there. It's closer to do that than it is to go to the Sioux.
Mm-hmm.
Or when people say, well, what did you do to shop? Well, we go to Duluth, Minnesota, because that's the only place you could go that had shops. That was a 2-hour drive. But,
Wow.
The town that I born and raised in, they don't have anything. They now have a Walmart, but they don't really, big whoop-de-doo, right? That's where there's nothing there. A couple grocery stores, Walmart, that's about it.
Wow.
Yep.
And every year it gets to be more and more like a ghost town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a former Hoosier, so I've only been up here 4 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we were last 2 years ago, maybe now 3, we were going to sell our house. My daughter moved back to the UP. My son's living up there now. And she's the only one that has grandchildren, our grandkids, and they were living up there. I thought, well, what is there for me to stay here then? Right after I retire, we're just going to sell everything and we'll live in our camper and travel down south in the winter months and come back to Michigan in the summer. And there was a campground halfway between their houses that we could have stayed at. But then she moved back down here, so we're not selling. We're staying because the boys are here. Okay. enough
Right.
personal stuff. We should be talking QBot.
Yeah.
QBot. So is anybody having any issues with QBot you need help with, or you have questions? And Rose is a wannabe. She wants one. So
I have a QBot.
Oh, you have. Who is the one that's
Me.
Jody?
Me.
Okay, Jody. Sorry, Jody. Sorry, Rose. So you're gonna love. I don't know how to explain this. And then I know Stacy just got hers. I still, even though I'm using my QBot a lot, I still watch David's videos on YouTube. If it's something new that I want to try, have you watched those at all, Stacy?
I have.
Okay, yeah, he's an engineer who developed QBot. He's the actual guy that developed it. And it's kind of interesting because normally when you, no disrespect to engineers, please don't thrash me for that, but engineers have a different way of thinking. And for somebody who is an engineer and still be able to communicate with us on the software and how it operates, it's like night and day. He must switch his personality off both directions because he doesn't talk at all like an engineer. He talks more like, I've been doing this for a while and I understand how it works and I just want to help you understand how it works. And away he goes with the videos. And I have learned so much from him. And if I'm going to try something new, I always go back to his videos, watch them a little bit, and then have them on my iPad next to my machine. If I need it, I can scroll to the part that, he re-explains something for me to watch it again. Because
I have a question about, because I hear this on the list a lot. And when they talk about like the X and the Y wires, okay, I get what they do. Okay. So the X moves it from right to left and the Y moves it from top to bottom or vice versa, whatever it is. Yep. Yeah. And so I get that part, but okay, where are they? I mean, they're just hanging out. They're just like sticking out somewhere and they get tangled up or no?
Well, it's all part of everybody's setup is a little different based on their frame.
Oh, okay.
So on mine, I have this device. It's metal. It's on the one that's going to help me go front to back. It's on the side of my machine, on the base of my machine. It bolts on there. And then the wire goes around there and on wheels. I don't know how to explain. It's not really on wheels.
So isn't that on the carriage though?
On the carriage. Yes. So there you go. On the
carriage.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Stacy, as she's getting ready to put hers on.
Well, I bought a second carriage because I did not want to have to keep disengaging it when I want to do free motion because I do like to do a lot of like free motion ruler work.
Well,
so
hold on. All you have to do is turn QBot off.
Yeah.
You don't turn it on. You can still do free motion.
You can. Okay.
Yep.
You can do free motion with your wires attached.
Yep.
And that won't cause extra wear or resistance?
Well, it will cause a little resistance and it will cause a little wear, but it's so much easier not to undo them and redo them all the time.
Well, I wasn't going to. So my local dealer had a really good deal on a second carriage. So all I'd have to do is just like hop the machine onto the additional carriage. So, I mean, my machine weighs 30 pounds and I just would have to...
Oh man,
put it on there.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Me neither.
No.
Well,
but my machine's a no thing, so it's really heavy. It's like more heavy than I can carry. So
mine's over 50 pounds, and I don't want to pick mine up either. But I also have mine set up in a bedroom, which is tight. So like I have to turn sideways to get around the frame to get out the door of the bedroom. I had to take the door off the bedroom so that my frame will fit up, closer to the wall. So I'm in a tight, cozy spot. So I wouldn't want to do that. But if it works for you, Stacy, bonus.
I don't know. It's just when I was researching, I was like, okay, well, I might, I was afraid of installing what are they? The drive, whatever the drive mechanisms are called. Cause I was like, ooh, you have to like bolt them on your carriage. So I was a little
the bat wings.
Yeah.
That's nothing. You're going to probably have to disconnect wires off your machine to move it over to a new carriage. And I would think that I'd be more worried about those causing damage on those than I would, my wires.
Okay.
If I wanted my QBot disconnected, I wouldn't switch machines or carriages. I would just take the wires off and put them back on again. That sounds way easier than what you're talking about doing.
Okay.
And the other option, Stacy, is just, once you get it installed, try it. Shut the QBot off completely and try to do some free motion on there. I bet you that you're not going to notice much difference.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about this thing about not running Wi-Fi when you're using the
Not
QBot?
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
I don't turn I only have my Bluetooth on for the QBot, but I don't worry about my Wi-Fi. Other people who live in other areas have a problem with it, but I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
A lot of the other problems too is the Bluetooth. It's not the Bluetooth that's connecting you and your machine together, your tablet and your QBot. It's other devices that are around that still have Bluetooth turned on, like your phone.
So in other words, like I would just turn the Bluetooth off on my phone, which I usually have that on in case I want to wear earbuds or whatever, if I'm listening to a book on tape or something like that.
Right.
So just turn that all off.
Yeah, because that can interfere with the connection to your QBot. Your QBot might want to pick up your Bluetooth on your phone instead of your tablet, and it will disconnect.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Sometimes it disconnects you when you're in the middle of a pattern.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend in the Portland, Oregon area that had that problem really bad. But it must have been a weak internet, or I don't know what was causing it. But I lived in Southern Oregon, and I don't have that problem where I'm at. So
okay,
I've got my Fitbit on and my phone on, and I use my phone while I'm using because I take pictures of a screenshot where my pattern is on my tablet with my phone and stuff like that all the time. And I've never had a problem. But you do need to shut your QBot off every day when you're done with it and restart it the next time. And that clears its brain up and it will think clearly.
Okay.
Don't leave it on.
Okay. Good to know. Yep.
Yep. I love my QBot to pieces. I mean, it is so easy to use.
Well, that's good to hear. And okay, I know it comes with, preset, designs and so forth that are already loaded into it. But say you found another pattern that you want to put in. So what do? You load it up on a flash drive and then plug it into the QBot to upload it to the...
Download it to your tablet. Just put an email on your tablet and download it to your tablet.
Oh, okay.
You can order things on your tablet just like your computer, and you can just have it on there and then load it from the tablet into the QBot program.
Okay.
And
it's pretty easy.
David has a video to show you how to do that. Now on my tablet, I have a little chip, a memory chip, and I put the memory chip in my laptop and put the patterns on there and then just put them in there for the QBot.
Oh, okay.
And I also bought a software program for embroidering called Embrid, and it converts embroidery files into long arm quilting files.
Interesting. Wow.
So I bought a couple for small wall hangings. I bought a couple. They're called edge to edge embroidering. And I bought a couple of those and I converted them to QBot and I can quilt with them on QBot.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Linda, you said that you have a King Quilter 2, right?
Yes.
With the QBot installed on that machine, when you're doing edge to edge, does it slow the quilting down just unbelievably slow?
when I first started doing it, I didn't pay any attention to that. And then the last quilt I was doing, because I hadn't been doing a ton of edge to edge, but the last quilt I was doing, I did it for a fundraiser, donated it for a fundraiser, and it was at 30%, quilting at 30%. And I thought that was kind of strange that it was so slow. The design itself was very flowing. It didn't have a lot of tight corners or dense stitching. And so I turned up the stitching, the speed. I was breaking thread like crazy. So I turned it back down to 30 and it sews like a dream now. So it is what it is.
You just learn to live with the slowness of it. I have a King quilter. My QBot is not installed on my King quilter. I have perfect stitch on that one. But I have a Martelli machine and frame with a QBot installed on it. And I've only had it about 6 or 8 weeks. I bought it from someone else. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't fallen in love with QBot or the Martelli machine yet, because the difference in my King quilter and the program that I have on it, it will take me 3 times as long to do the same pattern on the Martelli, the QBot, as it did on my King quilter with the perfect stitch. It's just, I just feel like it's creeping. I mean, I am to the point of I quilt for others, and so the speed is important. I have, I've got to get it out, get stuff done, So I'm going to tell you, I've had it about 6 or 8 weeks. I've listened to all the videos. I talked to Janine quite often for a couple of weeks, and tried to get things moving to where I thought I was, but my whole package that I've got, I'm just going, oh my word, something's got to be wrong. It should be faster than this.
Are you able to have you gone back to the Martelli machine people and talked to them?
I bought it from someone else. So and I did talk to, I believe his name was I'm trying to think, one of the guys that takes care of the machines themselves, problems with the machines. And I did talk to him the other day. I didn't get it didn't speed anything up, but at least a couple of the problems that I saw that I was having, like with the machine being very noisy. I mean, oh my gosh, it's noisy.
Really?
Yes.
Does it
things
need
like
oil?
He said it's the machine itself that is making it's a screeching noise. And so
I
would think back up for sale and go get yourself a better setup.
I promise you, I'm 5 minutes away from that. I am just heartbroken over the fact that it has.
Did you know that Joan has a machine like that? Don't you?
Yeah, it does not squeal at all.
Did it ever squeal when you installed it?
It is not slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's somewhere in the setup that you need something adjusted.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I think the nearest person to come and look at it is in Florida. So
in Pensacola.
Yeah.
So and they just had a fire in their warehouse, so
I know. Yeah,
they're pretty busy right now.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to tell you, I'm just ready to throw up both hands. And I mean, I've continued to use my King quilter, and it's a good machine. I don't have any problem with it at all. And I guess I bought this one because I got it for a good price, thinking, okay, I've got a backup machine here. I'm going to tell you,
what kind of machine is it?
A Martelli.
The one that's Martelli. Does it use oil? Does it need oil?
No, I've done all that. I've cleaned it. I've oiled it. I've done everything. We've looked at the wires on it to make sure that they're on correctly and the tension is right. I mean,
Could you
we've done
take it
everything.
and could you take the QBot off of that and refit it onto your king quilter?
I don't want to do that. I'm not messing up that king quilter. I'd be out of business.
Yeah,
No,
I'm thinking I would have somebody come out and look at that. Somebody
Yeah.
from Martelli will come out and look at it.
Yeah, well, I may end up having to do that because I like the machine. I like the way that it looks, and I think, if it's doing free motion or custom quilting, it does fine. But edge to edge, it is just. Ooh.
Yeah, my husband bought the machine and he was an engineer. So he researched for 5 years before buying a quilting machine. And he bought the Martelli because for him, it was quieter than any other machine he'd tried.
Really?
And he worked at an airport, so he was around noise all the time.
Right.
Can you try an
So he
8-1?
knew quiet.
Yeah. Well, I'm just.
That's what I'm thinking.
And the guy that I talked to at Martelli said that it's not. When I talked to Janine, she said it could be the wire singing. It's not singing, it's screeching.
The wires do make noise.
Yeah, and then when I talked to the guy at Martelli before the fire, he said that it's the machine itself that's making the noise, and he said that's just part of it. And I'm going. My
I don't think
husband.
so.
I have a game room upstairs, and it's my sewing studio, a big room. And my husband is downstairs, and he will come up and he will say, "That is the loudest." He can hear it downstairs with the TV going. It's that loud.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
Yeah, there's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that noisy.
Yeah. Well, I'm heartsick because it's one of those things. We've gone to a lot of expense to get it up here and set up and all that. And
Can I ask you a question? How old is the machine?
it's about 4 and a half or 5 years old.
Okay,
that's
so
fairly
you
new.
have the beige sides and not the black sides?
I have the black sides.
Okay, so that's
You're
older
saying
than
that-
mine.
You're saying the sides to the frame?
Yes.
Yeah. It's the black.
Okay, well,
sides.
mine's the beige, so it's newer.
Oh,
And we
okay.
bought it in 19.
Oh, okay. All right.
18. We bought it in 18.
Yeah. Well, I
So
don't know.
it's an older machine.
It's not that I haven't spent the time. I have a practice piece on there because I don't dare put on one of my clients' quilts with it acting like it is, So
you have to trust it.
yeah. That's why my intention was to only have my Martelli with the QBot on it eventually, because it has so many good patterns on it, and I was going to sell my other one because it's probably 10 or 12 years old. My other one is, but oh my goodness, I'm going to tell you.
I would give them a call and see if they couldn't come out and check it. No,
Well, they're in Florida, so
I know, but it's still closer than St. Louis, Missouri.
Is that
maybe I
And
need
to me, it'd be worth the expense just to have them come out and check it, just for peace of mind.
Well, especially
Well.
if you're running it for a business, maybe they will give you priority of coming to check it out because it's affecting your business.
Right.
That's true. That's something to think about.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like you're doing it on your own, and your quilts can wait around for a while. But if
Right,
you're doing it,
right.
you're making money.
That's why I keep my other one going, because I'm going to tell you, otherwise I'd be dead in the water right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I didn't really notice how slow mine was going until that last quilt I was making. But like I said, I don't do a lot of edge to edge, so I'll run mine through the paces here and see if I can't get it to speed up a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Certain
like I said,
patterns.
mine is probably 60% slower than my king quilter is with perfect stitch on it.
That's so. Yeah.
It's not just a problem. I can't do an edge to edge on it at that rate. It would take me days to do a quilt.
I would just have somebody come out and look at it.
Yeah, I can do one on my King Quilter in 3 hours, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I can't get one done in 3 hours.
I've been doing it for a while.
Rose,
How long have you been doing it?
Oh, probably about 5 years now. On my King Quilter, yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine's
and
been sitting up there for 2 years.
I do probably 7 to 10 quilts a week on it. So I'm,
Wow.
you know.
Is that free? Are you doing free motion on your King Quilter?
No, I don't do free motion at all. I don't do free motion. I just put that computer on, let it fly.
So your King Quilter has a computer on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It has perfect stitch, and it has Butler. I heard somebody is my Robotics. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So you haven't had the kind of issues with the Butler that I hear lots and lots of people have.
I've not had any trouble with it. Not one minute of trouble. It's a very good machine.
Huh. Okay.
she's talking about the robotics.
Yeah.
Right. I'm talking about the robotics. Yeah.
Right,
Because with my machine, it's recommended that I get the Butler.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I mean, even A1 headquarters, recommends having that on. But dang, I mean, I've heard so many bad things about it.
The only, when you do have a problem, and I've only had a couple of hiccups with mine along the way, but you have to talk to people in Utah over the phone and mail stuff
under there.
Mail stuff to Utah, because that's where the tech support is,
Okay.
And so, if you've got, I mean, to me, tech support, like Janine, is one of the most valuable things that I see that QBot and Martelli have, is because of the fact that you can talk to her. She can talk you through problems.
Right.
If she were here, she probably could go bing, bang, boom, and this thing would be fixed right away. But we have spent hours on the phone trying to figure out, what's going on.
I would just ask Jolene to just send somebody out, because you can't figure it out.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that makes you wonder if he's going to walk in this door and turn one little screw and go, okay, then that's all that was wrong with it.
Believe me, I have been there in the last month.
Yeah.
Did they come?
It took you some time to get yours working correctly?
Oh, mine? It was my husband's, and it's hard for me to this day to walk into that room with that machine. And it's been almost 3 years. 4 years.
Really? Oh, well, I'm sorry.
And my granddaughter's here this weekend again, and she quilts. She's 12, and we're getting this stack of quilts, and she says, Grammy, we've got to learn how to use Grampy's machine.
Oh.
So I went to Branson, and the only quilting class I could get into was domestic quilting. And that's not my thing. I learned that right off. That is not my thing.
That's too hard to do, especially on a full-size quilt. Oh my goodness, just to maneuver that fabric is just a killer.
So when I went to Paducah, I took 2 long arm classes, and I learned a lot in the classes. I just learned I did not like handy quilter machines.
Oh.
To me, they were rough moving, and a couple other people said that they thought there was a lot rougher to move. It didn't glide like we thought it should.
So did you say that you have a Martelli machine and a Martelli frame and then QBot on that? And are you using it? That's what I understood.
Yeah.
Well, my
husband did.
Your husband did.
Use the long arm, and she's working up to getting back and touching it and wanting to.
Oh, I see.
But she did all the piecing of the quilts, and her husband quilted them.
I see.
Oh, he pieced too.
Oh, he pieced too?
Yeah.
Okay. But her granddaughter sounds like that's just what you need, Joan, is have
Yeah.
your granddaughter helping you.
See my granddaughter over there.
You know, Shirley, I wonder if, I mean, and I don't even know if this is possible. I'm just throwing it out there. But would it be possible for you to totally uninstall the QBot from the Martelli? Just take it off and pretend, okay, I don't have QBot on here anymore. And
see if it
then
works.
go back and step by step reinstalling it
Reinstall. Well, that's a
to
thought.
see if that
good
would,
idea.
you know, if maybe they did do some goofy thing bass backwards, you know,
Yeah.
maybe. And maybe if you just took it all off and then had one of their support people or whatever on the phone walk you through as you are loading it all back up again and see if that makes a difference. I know it'd probably be a lot of work to do, but
Yeah.
Long term, if it would solve the problem,
Right.
it might be worth spending the time to do it.
I'm ready to push it off the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want to have to carry it back down those stairs again with my husband.
Shirley,
I have that with solar power right now.
Oh,
I've had solar panels put on 6 weeks ago. They're
oh,
still not hooked up.
Oh boy.
I have bitched at them every week. I mean, literally. And the trencher guys were finally out Friday to dig the trench. And I said, from my garage to my house.
Yeah.
And there's a patio in between.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't. I said, I have a conduit going from the garage to the house. Why can't you just put the wires through that? Oh, that won't work. It's like, I was talking with the trencher guys and they said, who'd you talk with? And I told him, this head guy that's supposed to be in charge of doing all this project. He said, basically, he said he was stubborn a doorknob
For purchasing a
because
QBot.
he didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
It's just like,
I keep listening to, the videos and keep trying new things. And that's why I'm on tonight is I keep thinking I'm going to find somebody that's close enough or that can click and can help me through what I'm going through.
Shirley,
Double check your settings on your QBot and make sure they're right.
Yeah, Janine has gone with every time we get on the phone, she'll go, okay, let's check the settings again. And I've actually made a camera shot of it, a screenshot on my phone to make sure that they're going back to the right place or that they are at the right place, and they are.
Yeah.
so
It was resetting the motor current to 30 on the QBot program. Something was resetting it back to 30 on a lot of our machines for quite a while, and they finally got all the bugs out of that. And mine hasn't done that for a while, but that will mess up the speed of your machine for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think, isn't it primarily the noise it makes for you?
and the
And the
slowness?
slowness of the edge to edge, those are my two.
And
But
you
if it's
purchased
on
it,
30,
and you
if it's
purchased
on
it
30, it's
used.
not running smoothly either.
No.
Yeah. I'm wondering if somebody that previously owned it did something that messed it up.
I don't know.
Shirley, if you run the machine by itself, does it still make that noise?
Yeah.
You mean just free motion? I don't
Yeah.
I haven't tried that because I bought it to use that computerized program with, and so I don't even think I've tried free motion probably since I've had it here. Did it at the lady's house where I bought it.
And it didn't make that noise then?
No, well, I if it did, I sure don't remember it.
Okay.
I don't. My husband my husband is a car guy, and if it squeaks or rattles, let me tell you what, he's down there looking for it. Well, you can imagine how much something like this bothers him, So he says, if it's a car and it's making that much noise, he said, that means there's something wrong with it.
Right.
And something's going to break. And he said,
So
I don't even know if you ought to use it.
So disconnect, just turn
Where?
your QBot off. Don't have
Yeah.
that on at all. and start up your quilter machine and try. You got a scrap piece on there anyway, and try running that and see if it makes that noise.
Yeah.
Take the wires off of the bat wings. They could be wound around the bat wings, twisted, and that could be causing us a whining noise.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. So check those.
Yeah. I was thinking that I probably needed to. I mean, we've spent so much time trying to make sure that the tension was right on them, because that's what Janine kept saying, and she thought maybe it was the tension that was off on those wires, if they were either too tight or not tight enough or whatever. And
that's
so
true too.
We've worked on that quite a bit, but I haven't taken them off and started back from scratch again. So maybe that's a good suggestion.
They can get twisted over themselves, and then it would be making
like a kink almost in it.
Yeah, it's just not running smoothly. Instead of the wires running side by side, they might be twisting over the top of each other.
I mean, it is a squealing, scratchy, squealing noise.
That probably is the wires. The other thing is, did you buy wires right from QBot so they're the right length?
These came with the machine, so they are QBot wires. Yeah, and the other day when I talked to the young man at in Pensacola, I even was calling to ask about, because I know in something that I've read, it said that if you're doing more edge to edge than you are custom quilting, you need the stronger wires. And so, the heavier wires. Yep. And so I've even talked to him about, sending me, letting me purchase the heavier wires to try that out to see if that'll make a difference.
Yep. Because I have heavy wires on mine.
If you do that, you have to recalibrate them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a thicker wire.
Yeah.
But I don't have any noise on mine. And my, when I start my machine up, my king quilter, and I oil it and start up the QBot to work. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
But your king quilter probably is too.
It is. My king quilter it's honey.
Mine's not quiet.
No.
No.
So do you have the newer king quilter, or do you got the old one, Tin Lizzie?
I have an old team.
Oh, an old team. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably between 10 and 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
It was used when I got it.
Linda, do you use the people out in Utah for your tech support, or you probably have had it for such a long time like me? I mean, my tablet didn't go out with the screen. Half of the screen went out. And so I was talking to them back and forth over some problems I had with my screen. And they sent me a new, not just a tablet, but an actual computer that's connected to the machine when it comes on. And man, I tell you, that made all the difference in the world in that machine. Okay. I love it.
Yeah, I think the only time I called tech support is when I was first trying to decide. I knew I wanted QBot, but I didn't know what machine I wanted. And so I'd been looking around, and like Jody, I went over to Southwest Michigan and looked at, they sell used ones and refurbished ones, and went over there and looked at, theirs, and they were trying to find one in my price range that I wanted. And anyway, I called Lighten Up or QBot, and I said, okay, I want QBot. I know I want it. I'm going to order it and pay for it. And whatever machine you recommend I get to fit it on, I will do. And I asked her about the king quilter, and she said, well, it works on the king quilter, the regular king quilter, but you have to do a couple, as she called them, workarounds. But if you get the king quilter elite, it's a seamless install and works beautifully. And so I got the king quilter elite, and I have never, knock on wood, not had an issue with tension, not had an issue with anything.
Yeah.
It's smooth, but like I said, that last quilt I did edge to edge, it was slow. Now I'm gonna try. I'll run it through its paces. I'll put a practice piece on when I'm done with this memory quilt, and put a practice piece on there, run it through its paces, and see what I can figure out.
Okay.
I can get it to go faster.
Yeah. Well, if you come up with anything, I would appreciate the information very much.
No problem, Shirley.
Yeah.
How fast does yours run? I know you got a different machine, but your QBot, how fast can you run a
I have the QBot set anywhere from 80 to 100 most of the time.
Oh,
Really?
see, I've got mine on 50, and it's does eyelash stitches even on 50. Not all the time. But
It does eyelash stitches on the outside edges of curves and stuff.
Yeah.
You just can't make it not do that.
Can you not?
No, it's not, because either if you loosen the thread tension too much on top, you're going to get eyelashes on the bottom, and that's worse. So I just do the best I can. I have to make sure that
the best I can doesn't work though when you're doing it for other people.
No, but I'm not getting complaints from people. So it's just, but the thread tends to be a little tighter on the outside edges of curves than it is everywhere else.
What are you using for thread, Rose?
I'm using connecting threads most of the time. Every once in a while, I use what's that other?
Superior.
Superior. But I can't afford the Superior. It's way too expensive.
I use Glide. I use Glide on mine on the top and the bottom. I mean, I try.
Isn't that what somebody sells that? I was thinking.
Yeah, the girl on Fonson Porter.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't tried it.
I love Glide.
I love Glide. But see, my machine, my King quilter even is very particular about the machine about the thread that you use.
I don't like changing.
It loves Glide thread, and if I try and do anything else, any of that with the fuzzy, that's.
Is it a 50 weight or 40 or 30?
No, it's real thin. It's very thin. It's got a real kind of a sheen.
It has sheen to it.
Is it like 60 weight or something?
Yeah, I'd have to get a spool out.
I'm gonna get some.
Okay.
That's the thread. That's the thread that I used on that batik quilt, and I had no problems with it whatsoever. I mean, and I was all worried about that when I was getting ready to quilt that. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have all kinds of problems, and it just kept right on going.
Well, that's good. I use Glide thread top and bottom too. I use pre-wound bobbins.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, I can't wind bobbins. I hate that. Even on my domestic machine, I use pre-wound.
This is 50 weight.
The thing that I like about having the pre-wounds is just because no matter how slowly I wind the bobbins on my bobbin winder, I cannot get the same amount of thread on a bobbin when I wind it versus the pre-wounds.
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't ever work out. I mean, so finally I just went, you know what? On the occasion where, if I don't want to buy or they don't have all the colors in the pre-wounds. So sometimes I'll wind it, but most of the time I just go with those. I'm with you. Yeah.
This is 40.
Mine's 50. The Superior King Tut is 40, I think. But this connecting thread
does it have a sheen to it? Is it a shiny thread?
Well, but isn't King Tut? King Tut's cotton, right?
I've lost the picture.
King Tut's a cotton thread versus
this is polyester.
King Tut is cotton.
Yeah, this is polyester. But I'm going to tell you, my machine just it will hardly run with it. It doesn't do anything else as well as this does.
Yeah.
I lost you guys on my picture.
We got you.
We can see.
Hang on, maybe you had a bleep.
Well, I picked my laptop up.
Yeah. So Rose, what are you're on a laptop?
Yeah.
Upper right hand corner where it says view, the 9 dots and says view.
I'm not seeing all I have is join a live Zoom.
Hit that again. It'll bring you back.
Zoom live demo. It just wants to go to a demo.
Okay, so go down below in your taskbar. Go down below and you'll see the little blue camera.
Yeah.
Hover over that and you'll see the Zoom meeting.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It disappeared on me when I picked up.
Yeah.
So this is the small spools of connecting threads. I usually buy the big ones because I like to use
Is that one cotton?
This is black. I got this out because somebody wanted me to use black. I hate quilting with black. But I usually use the neutral cream colors and the light creams and stuff because they just do such a better job.
They do.
I have several different colors of it. And I just buy the 5,000 yard spools of them, and
That's what this. Yeah, that's what this
yeah,
is.
and they last a long time. And they are fuzzy, but
Angela is that girl's. Angela Huffman is that girl's name. That
Yeah.
I don't know if she owns it, but she's big into it.
well, I might try it one of these
Quilted
days.
Joy is her website, isn't it? Quilted Joy.
It is Quilted Joy, right?
The King Tut is also a 40 weight thread, and it works really nice too in the machine. So
Now, did you say it was polyester or cotton?
It's cotton.
What I have is cotton. I haven't quilted with polyester.
Oh, okay.
Stacy, what are you using for thread?
I use various different Superior threads. So I've used some of their King Tut, the So Fine. I really enjoy the mono poly that comes in clear and a smoke color. So that basically makes it invisible.
Oh,
And then you just get like the texture. So you never have to worry about it blending.
that's
I know
nice.
some people really dislike the mono poly, but again, Superiors is worth the money. I never have any problems.
It's
And then
really nice thread.
It is. And then I just use like a So Fine on the bobbin that blends with the backing. So again, the top, you can get your stitching to just blend and be invisible. So all they see is the texture, and then it matches on the back. And
That'd be kind of nice if you do a whole cloth quilt.
Correct. Or like I do t-shirt quilts for people. So a lot of memory type stuff. So then again, using something that blends and you don't have to worry about the colors because those things are just all over the map on colors.
Well, I give you credit for doing those memory quilts because I told my husband when I'm done with this one to slap me upside the head if I say I'll help someone do another one.
So
Gosh, the work.
That's shirts from my husband's grandfather. So
Oh God,
Wait. Let me see.
that's wonderful.
Oh,
Stacey.
cool. That's
is
beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's what's on my sewing machine right now. That's what's preventing me from installing QBot. So
Okay. Wow.
Well, I'm doing a quilt restoration right now. I mean, a lot in between my quilting. I'm doing a quilt restoration of a quilt, and it's out of log cabin blocks. I'll turn around and show it to you. See?
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness.
wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's those little bitty pieces and 8-inch squares. You know, I mean, it's going to be a sweet little quilt when it's all done. But I'm doing a restoration for a lady, and this quilt is near 100 years old. And some of the,
wow.
you know, when you restore them, you have to take the 8-inch blocks apart, and then sometimes you have to replace the little strips in the log cabin. So it is very intense and detailed, but it's going to be
my
pretty.
goodness.
Wow.
I'm probably 2/3 of the way through with when you get the part of it restored and get it all back in one piece. You're way more than halfway done. So I'm excited that I'm that far along on it.
Wow.
This is
That's
I've done
courageous. That's courageous.
Yeah. Well, I've done about 4, and I did another one with little blocks that were like 2 by 2 inch blocks. And I'm going to tell you, it turned out. And I mean, you could hold those pieces. I've got pictures of it, and you could hold those blocks up to the window after I disconnected everything and took it completely apart. And there were just holes. I mean, it was just threadbare fabric, and I had to replace all of those with some fabric that was similar, you know. So it turned out good. I'm telling you, that lady was a happy lady. She said she couldn't believe that was, she didn't know me, and somebody had recommended me, but not because I'd done restorations. They just recommended me because I had done other quilting for them before, and they said, I know Shirley can she can do anything, you know. So she brought it to me, and it probably took me about 4 months to do it, because it was a total. I mean, like this right here, where my 8-inch blocks are staying whole, at least on this one. On the one I did, I was taking even those. I mean, it had about 24 blocks in a block, 24 blocks pieces. And I was even having to take, and they were half square triangles. And so I was having to take those completely apart in the middle of it to replace that fabric. It was murder.
You're a brave lady. You are a brave lady, and I know you can conquer your problems with that machine. If you could do that, you could do
all
that.
I can say is those pay well to do, you know. But otherwise, I probably would say never again, because but they do. It's worth the effort, and I love to see them when they're done. They are so beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I was going to say, like, I don't mind the memory quilts. I'm less nervous about doing those because typically those are for non-quilters, and they're not as particular about points and
that's true.
Quilting. I belong to a quilt guild, and we put on a quilt show, and you know, there's some very impressive people who enter. And then, you know, one of my good friends who is a very meticulous piecer, I did one quilt for her, and I mean, I was a nervous wreck.
I just got through with one like that. Yeah.
See, I have a very good friend. She lives up in the UP. She was my principal, but we're very close. And she is a meticulous piecer. Oh my gosh. We over the winter Zoom together once a week, and we quilt together. So we were going to make the same quilt. It was a snowflake quilt. And she was using hers in shades of red, different shades of red, and I was making mine with a white background and a blue snowflake. And, you know, I got all my pieces cut up and they're all ready to go, and I was assembling them, and she's still trying to match her little squares of red. I don't think she ever finished. And, you know, I think she thinks that if she gets one done, she might ask if I would quilt it. I'll have to turn it down. There's no way I would be able to do. She would have me ripping it all out. So, no,
she probably would want it custom quilted, though, I'm sure, for something, if she's that particular about it.
She's not. She sends hers to the local quilt shop to have them quilted, and they just do edge to edge.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I bet she's never had one done custom before then, well, except for the expense of it.
Or she doesn't want to pay for it. That could be.
Yeah, that's it. It's pricey to do one.
Yeah, I don't know. So, Stacy, where do you live?
Near Green Bay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me Wisconsin.
Oh, y'all are all northerners.
Yeah.
Well, I lived in Florida for 24 years, but
did you? I'm Arkansas, though.
Arkansas.
I go down to Arkansas for work, to Conway frequently.
To Conway, do you?
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Perryville, Arkansas when I was about 4 years old.
That's probably about 45 minutes from my house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very far from you.
No.
It hasn't
Blind to Little Rock, so I'm.
I don't even remember what it was like. Not really.
Linda, do you know anybody else that's in Arkansas that has a martelling machine and a QBot?
No. But, you know, I would, if I were you, I'd put that out on the We Like QBot Facebook page.
Yeah.
Just put it out there and ask anybody's got the setup, you want to talk to them.
Yeah, right. And anybody that would be, you know, close enough, because somebody that has one may be able to come over and tell me what's
right.
wrong
Exactly.
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. QBot himself, before he got his Bernina, before he got his Bernina, had Martinelli.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
Did Martelli?
He talked about that when he was Sewing Machine Plus.
Yeah, I think he's on the Martelli website.
Yeah, see? Because he had one before he got his Bernina.
McGuffey.
Yeah.
Is he the one you were talking about, Jerry McGuffey?
No,
Oh, the other guy.
the guy
Yeah.
who created QBot.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
They call him Mr. QBot.
Yeah, we just call him
He
Mr.
does.
QBot.
He does the videos.
Yeah. But Jerry he comes on these meetings with us sometimes, and he would be a good person to talk to.
Yeah.
So just send him a message on We Like QBot, We Love QBot, and I bet you he'll respond and help you.
Yeah.
Oh, if he can, he will.
Yeah. He's very, very good and very helpful. That nobody ever had manuals to hand us for a QBot, and he's creating them for us. He's another engineer, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's not a manual available now, is there?
No, well, Jerry put one together.
It's in the files section.
Yeah.
On the website, I think.
The problem with the QBot manual is
if it doesn't work, he'll email you the link.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stacy.
Can you tell I work with engineers? My title is an engineer. I'm not an engineer, but so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rose, what did you say about?
For a while, Stacy, I thought you were a school teacher.
Oh no. I environmental engineer.
Okay.
Well, ladies, I'm going to have to go because I've got to get downstairs and start unloading the stuff off of my table and getting ready to move that beast because the guys are coming next week to put everything back together, put drywall on my walls and put new flooring down. And so anyway, all right. Well, it's wonderful chatting with y'all.
I'm glad you could join us, Jody.
Absolutely. I'm going to keep reading and keep researching. And I got about another year to where I own my machine free up. And then I'll think about doing something
okay.
With QBot. So, all right. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
You too.
Bye, Jody.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to leave too. So nice visiting with y'all, and thank y'all for the information.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Get out. Let's see here.
Down at the bottom, Jody. Up.
I'm looking. It went away.
Just got to hover your mouse over it. It'll say end meeting or end.
Oh, I'm on my phone. I'm not on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
All right.
It was there for a minute and then it went away. Now I can't find it again. I'll get it here in a minute.
No problem. No problem at all. Does anybody else have any questions or anything that you want to talk about or
I haven't really had time to think about it. I haven't been on my machine for a couple weeks because I've been working full time the last 6 weeks. So I took a long-term job the last 6 weeks. A teacher left. And so that put me working for 6 full weeks. And I just finished yesterday. I'm so glad to have time.
Yeah, I got one more week to go. We're done on the 17th. I mean, I'm retired, but I do consulting. And so
I've got 6 quilts sitting here to do right now.
6?
Oh, wow.
Well, one lady had 4 and another lady shipped me one from Alabama. And then a lady across town has one she wants me to pick up. So here in Alabama, my friend in Alabama can't find anybody in Alabama that's doing quilting, that does long arm quilting. They hardly even have quilt shops there. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, that'll keep you in business. Tell her spread the word.
I guess.
Usually people who send their work out, if it comes back in a timely fashion and it's a good condition, it's nice quilting, they will always recommend, and it's word of mouth that gets most long arm quilters their business.
Yeah, I don't advertise, and she doesn't mind paying the postage back and forth. That costs her just as much as my quilting does, the postage.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Not cheap to mail stuff.
This one she sent this week cost her $54 to mail it to me.
Whoa!
Ooh.
And then it costs that much to send it back.
That's why I go to UPS. UPS is cheaper than than the regular post office.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if they are or not.
They are.
There's something too with the dimensions of the boxes, because I just had a woman who mailed me 20 pounds of t-shirts, and she had a significant upcharge because one of the dimensions, like the proportions of the dimensions of the box.
From the post office?
Correct.
Oh.
So it could just be the size of the box that she used that made it more expensive.
This is a small packing box that she used this time. It's not too big, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I was going to say it was almost $48 I saw for the postage for that 20 pounds that was shipped to me.
It makes me feel bad. Just, even charging her for the quilting after she's had to pay so much to ship it back and forth.
Well, that's the cost of doing business. That's not anything you should feel guilty about.
I know, but I do because she's my friend.
Oh, well.
Well, I was going to say, the alternative for this lady was to drive it. And she's like, with the price of gas, it doesn't pay to drive it. So,
yeah, this gal used to live here in Oregon with me, and she moved away. So,
okay. Well, she must like your work and want to continue to do business with you. So,
said she does. So, and I'm just doing edge to edges for her. So she likes them.
Good.
I try to do a good job. I've been doing it. I think this is about 6 years now. I've had my long arm, and first year or so, I didn't do much with it. I was kind of intimidated, but I started just buying patterns that my machine stitches nice on. It doesn't like a lot of pointy things. The smoother, curvy lines on the patterns are easier for the machine to stitch up nicely. And so I just look for patterns that look like they'll stitch out nice, and I buy those and
good
loops and circles.
Stacy, are you going to quilt for other people when you get your QBot running, or is that just for you?
I do some for other people. I guess I'm one of those, let's put it this way. I personally hate feathers. I don't like the look of them. I never want them. So a lot of people in my quilt guild would say I'm a little bit more modern type quilting style, and I like denser quilting. Yeah. So I've done quilts for other people, but it's kind of one of those, if you're giving it to me, you're kind of okay with free range of I'm going to do what I want to do on your quilt, and you're okay with that. And if that's not what you want for quilting, then I'm probably not your quilter.
Okay. Well, there's something to be said for that, because it's a job of bringing extra income for me, but you still got to want to have fun at it, or pretty soon you're going to hate doing it.
Oh, well, and I was going to say, I have a full-time job already, so this is my fun. And so if I'm going to be doing my fun, I want it to not feel like a job or a task. And so, again, what I tend to get more of is people who do memory quilts or t-shirt quilts. Because again, that's something I can sew. And most of those, I just do a quick free motion meander, and it's pretty minimal. But then for my mom or for myself, I do, again, ruler work, custom, everything.
Wow.
So yeah, I just like the creativity of that. So, which I know I'll never be able to people don't want to pay for that.
Right.
No, it's expensive.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
So that's where I'm okay, well then if I get the QBot, then I can use that to do the stuff that I don't want maybe for some of the other people who just want the edge to edge.
Yeah, there you go.
And I could still be, piecing my own stuff while that's running, but we'll see.
Some of that modern quilting looks really nice too. My niece in Australia has a Juki, and she doesn't have a long arm. And she just kind of modern quilted square lines, that interact with each other over the whole quilt. And it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love it.
I have.
I just can't do feathers. Never ask. I could. I just dislike them. I'm not saying that they're not nice. I know people love them, and it just seems like people are like, oh, can you do a feather border? I'm like, not your quilter. Sorry.
Well, that's good that you can say no, because that's that's why I told my husband with this memory quilt. I said, if anybody asks me to quilt for them in the next year or two, just tell if I say yes, slap me upside the head so I can say no, because it's when I want to do my stuff, I want to do my stuff, and I can't have two things going at the same time. It just doesn't work out for me. My brain doesn't think that way. I get too frustrated and too worried. So
well, yours sounds very complicated. So like this one was just triangles, and then like, okay, hold on. These people are coming up Father's Day weekend. So, I mean, this is another memory quilt, but it's just half square triangles. So,
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
I bought,
nice.
yeah, they paid for the cream. So that's just a grunge
Okay.
fabric here. And then these are all plaid shirts from the woman's. And then, again, bought grunge border, and they have, again, good commercial cotton, extra wide back.
Nice.
Well,
you just keep the designs. You just keep them simple, so then it doesn't.
Well, okay. So I like machines to help me do my job, right? So I bought a scan and cut. Do you know what that is? Oh, it's a machine that you can cut out. It cuts pieces of fabric out for you. So this memory quilt, had it been cotton, I could have had those hearts all cut out in 10 minutes.
Sure.
And then I have a program called Simply Applique, and you send from my scan and cut, I would send the design, even though it's a simple heart, send that to my Simply Applique, and it would create the applique for the hearts, the exact size of the hearts. And then I could place them. I have the markers that you mark and can iron them off. So I did a 36-inch heart, and then inside of the heart, I did the 2, 3, and 4-inch hearts, and I turned them in every which direction. Now that they're about 2 finger widths apart from each other. So when it's done, it kind of looks like a shape of a heart, that they're all in the middle, and then put a border, and then anyway. So I couldn't use the scan and cut because they're cotton t-shirts. Or a little heavier than t-shirt fabric. It's all knit shirts anyway.
Yep. The scan and cut won't cut it.
Well, it might cut it if I had a rotary cutter. I don't think the blades are, I'm worried about it catching all the fabric, and then I only have so many shirts to work with, and then I don't have any more shirts to use. So I just did the typical, cut the square fabric the same size, a little bigger than the heart, put it down, take out the hoop out of the machine, trim it up, put it back in. And I wanted to do satin because I thought a little flatter satin stitch would be nice. But on the knit, I ended up doing a blanket stitch around. So I think it looks better in the long run, but I thought I really wanted to do satin at the beginning. But I'm at a point now, I'm trimming off all the stabilizer off the back of the fabric. And when I'm done doing that, then I can put my border on and get it on the long arm. But I've never used quilted with cuddle fabric before, so that'll be something new for me.
I think it'll be okay. It's on the back.
Yeah.
I've quilted with Minky on the back, and it works fine.
Well, that's what everybody says, and you just have to watch for the stretch part of it, and I'll be okay with that, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Don't
that'll be another new
stretch
thing
it
for
too
me.
much.
And she's not going to care if it's not perfect. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I've done the t-shirt quilts, again, I always put a 100% cotton border, like a 4-inch border around it, because then you can use that to square it on your frame.
Yeah.
So, and then you just have to kind of, yes, the shirts will move a little bit, but, again, if you're watching it, at least when you're doing free motion, I can kind of blend and ease in any kind of puckering that's occurring.
Yeah. Good job. And are you stabilizing anything on the back of those t-shirts?
Nope.
Ooh.
Wow, you're brave.
Bless your soul.
I have, my domestic machines are FOF, so they have the integrated dual feed.
Yeah.
So essentially, like when you're piecing with a walking foot.
Right.
So I don't have any problem. And then there's this method called 2 cool t-shirt quilts. So everything's divisible by 4. And then their method, they don't have you do any stabilizing. So
Wow.
Interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
here, this is what those look like. I have a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be quilted clearly. So this is,
Wow. Wow, honestly.
That
Stacey,
looks
wonderful,
great.
Stacy.
so, and again, I'll get close, there's like literally nothing on the back. So like you can see me through these t-shirts.
Wow.
Yeah, you did a good job piecing that
I would
together.
say.
So yeah, that's,
Wow, you're good, Stacy.
because, you know, I'm kind of an engineer. I like the math. I like the creativity, you know, side of the process.
Well, the creativity isn't necessarily the engineering part of it, but the detail.
Yeah,
and
the detail
numbers.
and the piecing. Yeah, that's
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Joan,
So.
are you teaching? Is your daughter figuring out how to use the long arm quilter so you two can quilt?
I never know what weekends I'm having her.
Okay.
Her mom owns 19 acres about 3 hours south of here. And so she's down in it's mostly woods, and she's down there clearing out some woods, and her and the dog. And that way she doesn't have to worry about June and, you know, running around. And so, and June likes spending the time here. I took her shopping today.
Oh, good job, Grandma.
Yeah. I told her, I said, girl, you are getting expensive. But she got two swimsuits, 5 pairs of shorts and tops. And
Whoa.
yeah. So she's set for the summer.
Good. Well, I hope that you have a chance to spend enough time with her that she has an interest in getting Grandpa's machine up and running with you. That the two of you can do that together.
We made a couple weekends ago. We made quilt tops, just, you know, little 36-inch charity quilts for newborns.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they didn't furnish enough fabric, so the one she did was flannel. So I went out and got some more flannel so we can make a border around it. And so we're gonna do that. But today was shopping and putting together one of my. It's a 2-tier Martelli table.
Oh.
And my son was over and he put the table together, and he got one of the tables together. He didn't get them both together.
Okay.
But June's having fun playing with the table. It's got its hydraulics and it's on wheels, so she rolls it up to Grandpa's what do you call them? Lounge recliner.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got the feet up and she's got the table rolled up to her.
She can put her electronics all lined up on it then.
Yeah, exactly. She's got her notebook sitting up there.
Yep.
Yep.
Probably
Phone in her hand.
Probably watching YouTube videos.
I don't know what she's watching. She watches a lot of educational stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's a pretty smart cookie.
Good. Well, I hope that she will work with you and enjoy getting Grandpa's machine back up and running so the two of you can share that experience together.
Yeah, we got her featherweight out and she was using it to sew. So.
Oh, cool.
Oh, fun.
Yes, we got to clean up the case yet. The case is in pretty bad shape. It just scuffed up and that needs to be cleaned up, but the machine's fine.
Nice.
That's on my we just had to remember how to thread it. The thread's opposite than a regular, you know, what a normal modern day machine threads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like,
well, there's a lot of communities on Facebook that are for those machines.
Yeah, I had one. Mike had one. June got one when she was 9, and my oldest granddaughter got one when she was 9.
Wow.
So
nice. Well, a featherweight 221 is on my bucket list to get before I die. So I hope to have one as well.
Yeah,
I don't know what model mine is.
And there's a 222 that has like a not free motion foot. It's like a sleeve. It's only maybe 4 inches across, if that, where you can take the part of the table off and make it free arm.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't have one of those, and I basically need to start getting rid of machines. I've got a commercial Singer machine in there that I need to get rid of so that I have space for other things.
Okay.
And the motor on that thing weighs, I think, close to 50 pounds.
Ooh.
It is one heavy machine.
Well, I think that's how heavy my long arm is, about 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So picking that up, and I can't imagine, although you're a lot younger than I am, Stacy, so bless your soul if you keep it, although yours isn't that heavy, but to pick it up and put it on another carriage, that just is just mind-boggling to me. But that's good that you can. I'll be happy to hear how that works out.
I don't know. I was just, when I was looking at how I needed to install it, I was just too nervous about like what that was going to do to my ruler work and my free motion. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
you have to let us know.
You hook it up.
You can keep a ruler table on the long arms, even if there's robotics on them.
Yeah, I just didn't know with like the extra weight of the bat wings and everything if that was just gonna. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll get it installed here.
It out. It sounds like you're a very smart young lady. You will figure it out.
Yeah. And here I thought, because she's a beginner. She's not no beginner. You got a lot more on me than.
Well, it all started. I walked into a quilt shop, and the lady in the quilt shop was like, "I know you." And I looked at this lady like she was crazy, and she worked with my mom, and I just looked like my mom. And so she said, "You guys should take my quilting class." And we're like, "We have no idea what we're doing." It was a table runner club. So you made one table runner each month, and they taught you the different techniques. Yeah, like we were like the very first class, she was like, "Oh yeah, simple like quilting, stitch in the ditch." And my mom looks at me like, "Stitch in the what?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Mom." Like we still pull out those first projects because like I didn't know how to turn a corner on a binding. I literally just cut it and like just had raw edges. So I've come a long way in my.
But that's what sparked the love and the passion for doing quilting.
Yes. So my mom and I learned together. And so I hear these stories like with your granddaughters, and that like I would love that. Like my grandma, well, one of them by the time I started quilting had already passed, and the other one she sewed, but she never quilted. And she's like, "Oh, this would have been so much fun to, so like, yes, teach them, like that would be amazing. I'm just glad I get to share it with my mom.
Good. And I bet she is more excited that she can.
Yes. Well, except for, I ended up getting engaged and married during that year-long runner club. So if you ask her the story, I abandoned her in these classes and got married.
For bigger and better things.
She's like, "You left me and moved away to Green Bay."
And where does Mom live?
Near Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's not too far away.
No. So we still see each other, and yeah, she tried calling here while I was on this. So I texted her quick, like, "No, Mom, I'm talking about QBot with people. Like, I'll call you later."
Yeah. I've got a 5-year-old great granddaughter that I want to see if she wants to learn how to sew. But it's getting her away from Mom.
Oh.
Mom is a real mama bear cub. She doesn't let her daughter out of sight too much. Even her grandmother can't get her very often.
Wow.
So.
Well, you tell her Mama that life's too short, and we're all on the downhill slide now. So
yeah.
You want to spend time with her.
Oh yeah, I'd love, but she thinks that I'm too old for that.
Oh my heavens. Oh my heavens.
Stacy,
Yeah,
did
okay.
they send you good directions for installing your QBot? Did they send you good directions for it?
They have a lot of like scan here with the little code, so I'm guessing they're going to send me to videos.
Good luck.
But
Okay.
I have a, it's four or 5 page diagram, but the pieces are not very labeled in here, and what's in the photo does, like, one of the pieces is black, but I think it's this piece that they're asking me to install. So,
Oh dear. I had a friend that helped me install mine because she had a setup like mine. So that was part of the reason I chose what I did. So
yeah, well, this is why I was like, I'm a little scared to rip apart my carriage to put this on without any, because yeah, that's the one thing that's a little that I've read is sometimes the directions of printed material is not the greatest.
That is
so.
true, but they have a fabulous support system. So
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
and
I'm
actually on the
sure
you know the when I was having some issues with mine when I first installed mine, I had all the settings the way Mr. QBot said to set the settings up. But what I wasn't paying attention to, because I was a newbie setting it up, was the tension on the wire to send it from
Wires.
the front to the back. And I thought I had it, taut enough, and my husband, helped me. He thought it was taut enough, but it loosened up after my first practice quilt. It loosened up, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
never even thought about that would be a problem. Well, sure enough, it was a problem. Nothing would track right, and I put it out on the We Love QBot Facebook page, and boom, someone responded back, check the tension on your wires. Oh, that's the problem,
That's, yep.
But they're very good helping. And that's one of the reasons that I started this Zooming once a month, is because people either are on the fence about wanting to buy it and have a ton of questions they want to ask, or people have an issue, they want to talk about it and they can bounce ideas off of everybody, those kinds of things. So, it's more of a support group.
Yeah, no, that group's been great so far as a resource, and yeah, so I was just thankful that you put together these Zoom meetings and that you let me join. So again, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, sometimes we have a lot of people. Like the last time we had 16 people. The amount that 9 that we had on tonight, that's about what we normally get. And I'm okay with that if I can help, or somebody can help somebody else, figure something out, or I love show and tell also, to see what people are working on, inspire others to do things. It's a good use of my time, I think. And if you guys are
hopefully next time I'll have QBot installed and maybe I can show a QBot project. So
that would be fun. I hope you get it already.
Yeah, we're already looking for people, who want to do a quick demonstration on something or explanation by using the machine. And if they need help with how to, they're going to hold their camera and do it at the same time, I can help with those kinds of things. But so that would be, I think more people want to see the demos. And that last time we did this, we had a demonstration. So maybe that's why we got, more people to join us.
Yeah, I hated missing that one, but I was out of town, so.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Joan. So more demonstrations, I think, would be nice too, if we can get more people to step up and do it. I could do them, but I'm not the best quilter yet. I mean, I'm still getting there. I don't think I'm the best. Let's put it that way. I'm still working on it, but I can do the basics. So if people have questions on the basics, like loading the quilt, I float my tops.
I do too.
Yeah, my tops and my batting. It's just so much easier for me. And I still pin.
So what kind of frame do you have then? If it's like, is it a handy quilter frame, or do you have?
That's a handy quilter frame. It's not called handy quilter frame, but it is. And
okay. Is it like the equivalent of their studio frame, or do you?
Okay, so no. The studio frame is what I'd like. They call it a studio frame, but it's not really the newest model of studio frame where you could take the bar out and put it up on top and float your stuff and then bring it back in.
Yeah, I converted to the Studio 2 where you can like have the clear view or the, the traditional where, so like Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
floating right now, aren't you, Stacy? Aren't you floating that top?
Yep. Yeah, I am. And then so my frame, let me just turn here. So this is what they call clear view. And then I can, hold on. It will flip up and then the bars rotate. So then you could do your normal. So this is more if you're like doing ruler work.
Yep.
So
See, I
I'm just
don't
going to
have
leave that till.
That I would
So-
like to have. I don't have that kind of. I have the studio frame. That's a Studio 2 frame, and I have the Studio.
Yeah, I upgraded. So if you have a studio frame, it's just you have to replace the side arms to
Really?
do that. So yeah.
Well, I need
So
to
if you have a studio frame, you can upgrade, and it's just a conversion kit to get to the Studio 2.
Oh.
That's why I was asking which frame you had. So
Okay, because mine didn't come from Handy Quilter. It comes from Sewing Machines Plus, because that's they're the ones who have my machine made. But because it's a Handy Quilter machine, it's a Handy Quilter frame. They just don't put Handy Quilter name on it.
correct. So you might be able to get away with the conversion kit.
And I do have a Handy Quilter dealer about 30 miles from me. So maybe I need to go down there and take pictures of my frame and go down there and see if that can be doable.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I would have had.
Yeah, we could see that light bulb go off over your head,
Was
Linda.
it getting bright?
Yeah.
Now, had I had the salesperson at the Handy Quilter quilt shop not led me astray and tell me wrong information, I would have had a Handy Quilter, because that's what I was looking at initially before I looked at the King Quilter. But I went down there and I again knew I wanted to use the QBot. But she said to me right out, she said, if you put a QBot on my machine, she says it voids the warranty. I said, what? I said, on the websites where you can buy Handy Quilter, it says right on there, one of the options is QBot. So how is that? No, you got to buy my software. You got to buy my software. Well, she was the salesperson.
Right.
She wasn't an owner. And I said, okay. And I walked away because I really wanted the QBot. I'd fit a machine to QBot instead of,
So, I mean, my local dealer, when I asked some questions, they very much wanted to send you to the Pro Stitcher, which is Handy Quilter's version.
I couldn't understand how that Pro Stitcher worked, and I watched my friends learn how to use it, and I'm like, my QBot's so much easier to understand.
Well, I follow a Handy Quilter educator, Adam So Fun. You watch him at all, Stacy? Oh,
I do.
God, he is such a hoot. I crack
He's
up
hilarious.
in his turtle toes when he's traveling. But where he wears his sandals and his white socks. Yeah, turtle toes. But he uses and teaches Pro Stitcher all the time, and I watch him and use his software. And initially, it was a little confusing for me, but the more I watch him, it's not a bad software. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure it's really good.
Because you
I'm sure it's really good.
But it's like $12,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yep.
And for what I was doing, I'm like, I can't, nope. So this is kind of like, I'm doing this, and if it turns into something huge, maybe, because again, the one difference that I saw as a downside from Pro Stitcher to QBot is Pro Stitcher will be faster with my machine. So
probably, yeah.
I forgot her name, who she was having the speed issue.
Stacy.
Stacy.
No, you're Stacy.
No, I'm Stacy. Yeah, the woman that was on our Shirley. Yes. Shirley. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not technically a business yet, and I don't necessarily have a clock that I'm trying to turn customer quilts around for, but that was and I'm like, I guess I can waste a lot of my own time for $12,000.
Yeah,
I can get a quilt done in a day if I work at it. I don't get more than one done in a day unless they're tiny ones, but a regular size quilt I can do in a day on my QBot, and it's not fast. It's not fast. I'm not fast, but I try to do a good job, so it takes longer.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's just like, if you're gonna, I think any machine, whoever's long arm, if you use their design software for their design speed, it's probably always going to be faster because the stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a better match technology wise versus not, but
I'll agree with you there. But for, like you said, for 20,000, I could not justify that. I mean, that's 3 times the price I paid for my machine. So I didn't want to go that route.
My whole
Yeah,
setup was about 12,500 or something, if I remember right. The QBot and everything. So,
Yeah, that's not bad.
No,
Yeah, because mine,
but it was used. It was the used machine. The QBot was also used. Somebody had had it before. So,
Oh,
yeah,
My
I just saw
table-
the sales slip on ours, and I think it was around a little over 18,000, and that included the QBot, the setup, and everything.
okay.
my table was new. The rest of it was used.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I'll be interested to see what you're going to do with that, Stacy, when you get that set up. I want to try ruler work on mine. I've got the base and I've got rulers. I've been accumulating rulers since I've got my machine
Yes.
2 years ago. And I made a long time ago, I made a huge queen size quilt with an 8-inch drop. So it's almost a king size quilt. And I made a Lone Star. And I want to do ruler work on that Lone Star.
oh yeah, that would be
So that'd
really
be a good winter project for me that I can keep loaded on the long arm for the winter and work on it when don't have the boys every day to watch. So I think I want to do that. That'll be well, I shouldn't be practicing on that because it's a real nice quilt top, but I might. It's mine, so I might do that. We'll see how it goes. But I watch a lot of YouTube videos on ruler work. It seems like a lot of fun.
it's fun. I enjoy ruler work.
Good. So when I can bounce questions off, when we have meetings, I can ask you questions.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Thank you. You know, it's different. People say, well, just watch a YouTube video. Just watch a YouTube video. Well, a lot of people can't learn that way.
No, I have to be hands-on.
It's most people, that are doing quilting and stuff, it's hands-on. And I have my domestic machine as a baby lock Altair. And it's a second to the top of the line on the lineup of their machines. And there are people who got sold an Altair or bought an Altair and then are intimidated by it, and there it sits and not using it. And so I send them private messages, and they think I'm a little crazy. You know, I'll help you. I'll Zoom with you. I'll walk you through it. I'll hold your hand as you do it, and give you confidence that you will fall in love with it because it can do so much work. And some people are like, who is this lady? That's a little bold. And a couple people took me up on it, and we're longtime friends now. We still chat. We still Zoom together and have sewing days. Maybe she wants to learn something. I'll help her with it. And otherwise, she's sewing on something. I'm sewing on something. But we just talk, on Zoom. Zoom is wonderful. There's no longer you have to be in the same town to do something with people. You can be across, like, what's her name that's signed on from Catherine from Australia.
Yeah.
She's been coming. She missed last time, but she usually comes. She teaches classes in Australia, sewing classes. So one day she logged on and she had a class going, and she introduced us to all her students in her sewing class, and they were all there. It was fun.
Yeah, no, that's great. Like I said, I joined a local quilt guild. I mean, I've taught some classes and some techniques. I don't claim I'm an expert at anything, but again, I'm very much self-taught. So I love just, sharing and knowledge and all those kind of stuff. So this is great. So again, if I figure out any great tutorials, I will definitely let you know, and happy to share. But
okay, well, sometimes they can just be the basics, right? Because we have a lot of newbies in that group, or wannabes even,
Well, I will let everyone know how install goes, and I can probably come up with some notes for all of those new people, and
okay.
what you need to know on what might not be clear on install.
Oh, that'd probably be that might take 2 meetings.
Right.
Because I know
Don't give up. Don't give up on it.
Oh no, I'm not. Like I said, I have to get this one off. So like, I'm looking at the time, like, can I still get that finished tonight?
All right. Well, we can call it quits, I think. It was good visiting with everybody.
Very nice meeting everyone. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let us know when your next date is for the next Zoom.
I'll post it. I'm trying to work out a camping trip with my buddy from Southern Illinois, so I'll see when he can meet up to camp with us, and then it'll be another weekend. So I'll post it when I can, a couple weeks ahead of time.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay,
Thanks,
everybody.
Linda. Bye,
You're
Good
welcome.
everybody.
night.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good night now.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.